I'm here.
Hello, welcome back. So let's wait for Julia.
Okay.
How much time did it take to prepare the lesson?
Maybe much time, maybe more than 3 hours.
Okay.
But in general, it is longer because I'm thinking of the material, of the level, of the lesson type, and how to do it.
Yes. Yeah, it usually takes much more. I mean, thinking takes a lot of time.
Yes, that's right. And I did not guess the level. It is outcomes, upper intermediate level.
Okay.
Hi.
Yes, so let's start with Julia. Yeah. So the one who was who was the experiment today.
Yeah.
I was so stupid student today.
No.
Understand most of instructions.
Well, actually, it's a good point. Let's talk about this because I mean, it could be. It's a real situation when students don't understand the instructions, right? Yulia, you may know. You may want to give your, I don't know, some notes, some feedback to Oksana. How do you feel about the lesson?
Yeah. Now help me how to give instructions to understand everything. I need your help, Julia.
Well, you tried to do your best, but unfortunately, you get acquainted with a stupid student.
Don't say so. Now you know how to disagree politely.
Everything was okay. You gave instructions, but they didn't work.
Okay.
The student was too stupid today.
So, Julia, what should I do in my future lessons? Help me, please.
Well, I suppose that at the first lesson, Oksana will make a kind of test just to get acquainted with psychological type of students. So, Oksana, I think that it will be better to study your student. That's true. So, because some people have different ways of getting information. So I think kinesthetic people, listeners, those who watch and give information. So just you should study. So the type of your learner, the type of your learner. Who is it before your screen? And then probably you could avoid misunderstanding during the lesson. So that's my point of view.
How? How, Julia? Give me advice.
Oh, that's a very difficult question because there are different types of learners, and please just study these course.
I have already.
Find answers there. How to deal with the different types of learners, and so that's for the learners.
Look, So this is an interesting situation here, because as we talk, let me just make some point here about the level of the lesson. Imagine you have a mixed ability students. Not always in our classes we have students with the same level. Some students have a little bit higher level, some students have lower level. And what happens in these types of classroom? Very often the teacher, there is a phrase like fly with the fast finishes. Like, you know, with those who grasp the idea, they understand everything, they move fast and you fly with them. Yeah. But then there are students who just, who didn't understand. They are just kind of, okay, so you are doing the task somewhere with those 5, 6 students, and we are just, I don't know, looking into my phone. Yeah. So typical situation in a classroom with 20 students. So what may help? In your tasks there, Oksana, you had in maybe 3 tasks, you had the instructions written on the top, right, of the exercise. In some of them, they were written. I think it is better if you just write the instructions with the short sentences, make it visible, and you know, show it, like read the instruction. Did you understand? Okay, so, and then use ICQ, instruction checking questions. Did you understand? What are we doing? Okay, because whenever you say, it's like giving long instructions. You start to give the instructions, but then students just forget. You had the situation, like, can you repeat it? What should I do? Like, because you are making these long sentences and students just forget. They don't manage to absorb it, right? So just make it big, make it visible, and make your students read the instruction. And it will be easier for you. You won't have to repeat it 5 times, like, you know, just read the instructions, make sure they understand. Because, I mean, in ideal classroom, of course, we all want to have the students with the same level. Yes, we all want to have like upper intermediate, 10 students with upper intermediate, but it doesn't happen in reality. Yeah, we have a mixed ability students with mixed maybe in some private courses we have approximately the same level. Yeah. Okay, in general, what it's a well-prepared lesson. The stages are clear, like you had the lead in, you generated the interest. There were some discussions, like, you know, with the words, a lot of interactions with students about the definitions. You had, I think, 2 exercises to consolidate the meaning. Again, you had some confusions there with the instructions, because it would be better to just write it, right, and make your students to read the instructions. Okay, then about the listening. So you had the 3 stages, right? So the first was listening for general information, yes? Then there was listening for details. In the second time, when you make your students to listen for details, they may really not remember, yes, because they were focusing on the first task. They put all the focus to the first sentence, and it's quite normal that they absolutely didn't remember anything. So maybe it was just useless. I mean, a bit like, you know, kind of waste of time to make them discuss, because, you know, it's when, you know, okay, this is the classroom of the teachers, but imagine your students. How will they react? They will just, I don't remember, I don't know, like, you know, this is the typical question answer of the question students. You can do what? In order to not torture them and, like, you know, to not waste your time, just give them again clear instruction and tell them, now focus on this task. Yeah, now listen carefully and try to give your answers. Listen carefully now. I mean, yes, I understand your idea to give some, you know, opportunity to say something, to have some discussions, but it was too long, I think, like, you know, unnecessarily long in that part. So, like, you know, you can just monitor your class, and you will understand that they don't get it. Yeah, no need to just go further.
Yeah, I wanted them to predict, and they started to remember their answers.
Yeah. So this is the point when you just should stop, don't waste the time, move on. Okay. So about then there were ICQ, okay, instruction checking, production, some production. Yes. What was your main aim?
Practice speaking, using expressions for disagreeing politely.
Okay, I see. Do you think you reached the aim?
Yes, we came to the exercise, to the production. I see that it is difficult because the disagreeing is long and it's difficult to remember at once. That's why there was a model, there was a box with a rule.
You know, I would advise to put, you know, instead of wasting your time on trying to guess and so on, I would put more exercise into the production part to make your students practice the production, the last stage, to try to use those phrases more. Yeah. And I think the main confusion today was about the instructions. Yeah, you can face it in a real classroom. You can face the students who like, what should I do? I don't understand. Like, make your instructions clear. Like, just write it on the board somewhere. Yeah.
Yes, and I suppose that I chose the level not appropriate.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that because everything was okay for Michael, for example.
Yes, but I thought that at the beginning of the lesson there were words, adjectives. I thought that everybody knows them.
Yes, but you know, if you put everything easy, then there is no point of learning. What's the point of learning something that you already know? Like, you know, it should be a bit higher. It should already, like, you know, all the purpose of putting the levels to taking into account the levels. If your students is B1, I mean, giving everything of B1 doesn't make any sense. Yulia, you have to go.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the lesson.
Thank you, Oksana. I will write you a feedback a bit later.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. And yes, so a little bit higher level is okay. Like, you know, half of the step, let's say, would be fine. But in general, I think it's a good lesson. It was a good lesson. There was just confusion with the instructions, with maybe wasting time, losing time, let's say, on some unnecessary things. But generally, I think you almost, let's say, you reached your aim, not fully, not maybe ideally, but you came to your final point. Yeah.
As for writing instructions, to my mind, the last exercise has written instructions, but Julia couldn't understand it.
Yes, that's why make it like, you know, emphasize it, like highlight it somehow and tell the student, like, read the instruction. Do you understand it? Yeah, this may work better.
Okay, thank you. Great.
Okay, all right. And then I will later put some like writing in your workbook.
Thank you very much. It was useful. Everything to take part, to prepare, to get feedback.
Thank you for the lesson. It was really interesting.
Thank you for your
time,
time.
For your effort. Bye.
Bye-bye.